Welcome to another session of Answer the Community, where today I dive into the Plantronics 5200 and we're optimizing the settings using the mobile app. Hi, I'm Rolando Rosas and welcome back to Answer the Community, where I answer all sorts of questions regarding hands-free devices on the platforms that you have submitted to us. And before we jump into showing the mobile app, I want to remind you to like and subscribe so that you get the latest releases of our content. All right, let's get into the mobile app so that we can get this show on the road. So first you want to have your mobile app. You want to make sure you download the PLT Hub app or Plantronics Hub app, and you can do that through the Android or the iOS store. Now, once you've downloaded, we'll go ahead and launch. And I've got my Plantronics 5200 UC headset already plugged in. Now the Plantronics headset comes in a couple different versions. It may come in as a PLT. It may say PLT here. It may say Plantronics. It may also say Poly. So it goes under a couple of different versions. The Poly 5200, the Plantronics Voyager Legend, all of them are virtually the same headset. The difference is that you may have different accessories. So first thing you want to do is pair your 5200 to your phone. And if you don't know how to do that, the app will tell you how to do that. You just simply go buttons and lights so that you can get a little bit acquainted with the buttons. And you can see that you have your charge port, your call button, your Bluetooth button when used for pairing, which would be this black button that's on the back. So it's that button right there. Now, let's go back to the home page. So on the app, you've got several things that you can do. Before we connect it to grab the settings, you can get acquainted a little bit with some of the features of the app. You can find your headset. That will only happen if you're connected via Bluetooth. You have other apps that can also be integrated with your headset. And then it's got a couple of the more frequently asked things. So if you're not sure of what to do, or you're not sure of what some of these buttons are, the buttons and lights will bring you right there and give you a display of all the buttons. You can launch Alexa, you can do Siri, you can also launch your Bluetooth, put it into pairing mode, the power, the on-off switch, it's all there. As well as it gives you a legend on what some of these buttons can do. Right, so we'll go back to the home page, and the home page is accessed by simply clicking on that home button. Okay, so now that we've got our 5200 ready to go, we're just going to simply connect by pressing the connect button on the Voyager, on the Plantronics Hub app. There we go. And now that we're connected, it gives us a display that tells us we're connected and how much talk time we have. We can do a number of things from here. Now we have the setting button, which was grayed out. Now it's not grayed out anymore. We'll go into settings. And now there's several things. The first thing that you want to do is take a look at if your 5200 is set to the most current firmware update. It's real simple. At the very top, you click firmware update. It's going to tell you your Voyager is up to date or not. If it's not up to date, it'll tell you that you need to upgrade it, and it will simply push the update into your mobile phone. Now you've got a slew of different options here. I'm going to go through some of the more commonly asked. I'm going to start at the bottom because if you use your 5200 for streaming audio, you're planning on listening to Pandora, you want a podcast, maybe YouTube or some other streaming type of service that you have on your phone, I like to just check off this streaming audio option so that your headset knows that you're going to stream to it. This will give it a little bit more intelligence to know that you want it to pick up that audio. So I always, for me, I have that. If you don't do any of that stuff, you can simply uncheck it, and this is what happens. So the setting will be applied to your device the next time it is powered off for more than 5 seconds. Okay, for me, I'm going to cancel that because I like to stream audio. The other thing I like is I like using the best possible audio when I'm listening to one of those podcasts or when I'm talking to somebody. Now, and that's called wideband audio. Wideband audio will deliver much richer audio experience, but as it says right here, wideband audio enhances speech clarity if your phone and service carrier also support this feature. Wideband audio is a newer technology that's not always available, and if that is available, you're going to get, if it's not available, you're going to get what's called narrow band. But in this case, wideband HD audio will come through a phone call. But if you use something like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Ring Central, some of these voice over IP applications, there you can select if you also want to receive HD audio. And if it's coming through those apps, your 5200 will also be able to receive that audio, and you'll be able to hear much richer audio. So I like having that. And there's something that happens when you do that. It will remind you that when you're in wideband mode, because it does use more bandwidth, it uses more resources to power the headset, that you're going to chew up more battery. It says, note, this feature consumes more battery power, resulting in reduced talk time. So you generally can get about 6 hours or so on this device, on the 5200. So you're going to get a little bit less, but with the 5200, I'll remind you that you have your carry case. If you've gotten the 5200 UC version, I'm going to take it out of the box while you hear me messing around with this plastic, show you what it looks like. That's what that bad boy looks like, right? So that you'll have extra power to power your mobile device in case you do go into HD audio mode. So that's just one thing. Let's put that off to the side. I happen to love HD audio, so I'm not so concerned because I'm going to be somewhere near where there's power, or I have the travel case with me. So I'm going to click OK. So those are the first two things that I would do. That's going to give you a much better audio experience when you're using the 5200. So now let's take a look at some of these other things that are going to enhance your experience. I have found that there are some things, and you'll see right out of the box, they're already checked off. Some of these things you can customize depending on how you plan on using it with your phone, or how you are going to use the apps on your phone. So one of the things that I like having is the ability to answer to or ignore right from the headset. And by default, it is checked off. And if it's not, you can check back on, and it says this enables your voice, the voice prompt, to ask you to answer or ignore. So you're getting a phone call and maybe you don't want to reach for the phone. You want to go ahead and just tell the headset answer or ignore if it's a spam call or somebody you don't want to talk to at the moment. And if it says if you disable and you prefer this feature to answer calls by pressing the button. Disabling this feature if you would prefer to answer calls by pressing the call button, and that would be the call button on your phone. The other thing you can do is you can have a call announcement where it says, hear the voice alert answering call when you answer an incoming call via your headset. Why is this useful? Because this confirms that you've told the headset, I want to answer the call, and your phone has also responded accordingly and understood that acknowledgement, and it'll tell you answering call. It's useful. It's one of those kind of fail safes so that you know if you are actually answering the call or not. I tend to have that checked on as well. I'll explain what audio channel tone. It just says here the short tone combination indicating that the audio channel is open and ready for communication. So what happens when you have this enabled, and let's say you're connecting to Zoom or Meet or Microsoft Teams, normally as you are connecting, the headset has a little stutter tone, and that lets you know that the headset is being picked up by the application. I also find this handy just in case you have any Bluetooth issues. Maybe you have other Bluetooth devices at work, or you work in an environment where you may have other co-workers that have Bluetooth devices. I know at home I've got multiple Bluetooth devices, and I just want to know that when I'm on a call or I'm in one of these apps like Zoom or Teams or even YouTube, listening to YouTube, that it's actually picking up that connection and my phone is connected to the mobile headset. So in this case, the audio channel tone does that for you. Caller ID, straightforward. It just enables to hear voice alert stating the name of the person when you're getting that call, as long as you have the name of that person in your contacts. Mute alerts. This is a personal preference. Some people don't want to be reminded by a voice. I like hearing that I'm muted, so a voice will tell you mute on, mute off, mute on. And if you don't want that, you can just disable this over here, mute reminder when I speak, and it gives you a couple of different things. It can give you an interval, and you every minute, 2 minutes, so on and so on, up to 15 minutes. And I would go 15 minutes if you're going to be using the mute feature quite a bit and you don't want to hear that voice annoy you. You can have an on-screen reminder, an audible reminder that you're muted, or both on-screen and audible reminder. So you get a lot of different options. Again, there's no right or wrong here. It's your preference. You can turn that whole thing off by just selecting off. I'm just going to leave it on off. Okay, and you'll see it updated right there. Notification tones. Okay, this comes in handy when you're connected, and it allows these different notification tones, such as an alert. And maybe you have different alerts on your phone where you want to be alerted when you get a text message. You want to be alerted when you're using an app and maybe an update comes through, YouTube, for example, or Facebook, or TikTok, or some other of these apps that do notify you with an alert on your phone. This allows that to come through the device. One thing to note about a headset like the Plantronics 5200, because you get a lot of options, it is unlike any other headset where you may not have a lot of these different options, and so you can really customize the experience to what and tailor it to your needs. And that's essentially what you have here as well. Now, here's something that is fairly new when it comes to headsets. There's sensors that can be used, and these sensors are really to make the device more intelligent and work with you. So for example, you can have auto answering capability on the headset. So there's a sensor for that, and it answers automatically incoming calls as you put your device on when it rings. So right now, if I were to get an incoming call, you see this headset is laying here on my desk. And if I pick it up, as I get an incoming call and put it on, the fact that I have the auto answer enabled will automatically transfer the call over to my headset. Now you can turn that off, and if you want to manually answer the call on your mobile, you can disable that. I just happen to leave that on because it takes one less step from having to answer a call when you have your headset maybe charging or laying around. The sensors built in know the moment you start moving it, it's got like I said, a sensor. As soon as it starts moving, it will allow you to answer that call. Again, same thing with auto pause music. When you have this turned on, it senses that as well. It says automatically pause audio stream from a mobile device when the device is taken off the ear. So I'll give you an example. Maybe you're going to the gym, and this may not be the headset you use at the gym, but maybe you left it, you were watching a YouTube or a podcast or something like that. The moment you go put down the headset, once you put it down, you put down the headset, it will pause the music. Or maybe you have to go to the bathroom and you're in midstream listening to a podcast and you have to put it down, or you have to take your headset off. You got to go run and do something. You put it down. The sensor has already picked up that you are not using the headset, and it pauses it, so you don't have to go back and rewind and start over again, or start somewhere where you left off. It just lets you know that you're gonna be right at the same spot you stopped listening to that broadcast or podcast or music or whatever else you're listening to. Okay. All right. So now the active call audio feature. This is what you want the device to do when you're on a call. Now this refers to, there's two types of calls. There's a data call. So if you're using Microsoft Teams, a Zoom, or something like this, Ring Central, Vonage, any of these apps, this will not do anything to those apps. This refers strictly to a smartphone call. So a regular, your mom is calling you and she doesn't use Teams. What do you want the headset to do? Well, do you want to transfer that call back to the headset? Do you want it to mute or do nothing? It's really a preference here. I just want it to do nothing during an active call. I rather manipulate all of the settings right on the headset, so I have control over what's going on. But if you prefer to mute or transfer, you have that there as well. Okay, so now we're going to go back into the settings. We've covered that, and you've got something here, kind of a fail safe. Let's say your device, maybe something happened on it, you just want to go back to factory default. Right here at the bottom, you've got where it says reset device it'll go take it back to the factory default settings. So you've got a couple of different options there with the settings itself. Now, in addition to those settings, you have some new apps that are available to be integrated into the experience. You can use this with Amazon Alexa, and you can use it with Tile. So if you're somebody that wants to integrate your headset with Amazon Alexa, here you go. You click on it, make sure you enable Amazon Alexa, and this is just going to read it to you. Simply enable Alexa, launch the Alexa app, and show the following instructions to set up your device. Use Alexa to get instant access to your favorite Alexa skills. So if I were to enable it, and it'll take me through the process. It gives me a pop-up menu, and it'll walk me through how to enable it. And so it's very simple. So if you love your Amazon Alexa system, it's built in here, so you can use it with that. Tile. I use Tile. I love Tile. And if you want to do that, same thing here. You just enable Tile, and it will tell you to enable Tile. Launch Tile app and follow the instructions to add your device in the next 20 minutes. You may return here to enable the Tile and toggle back. So you could just disable that if that's not something you're going to be doing. So if you use Tile or Alexa, you have the ability to use the 5200 along with those apps or with those devices. Last thing we have here, well, let's cover. You want to figure out how to do some of these features that we have not covered. There's several things here that will easily help you become an advanced user when it comes to using the 5200 and enabling to take advantage of every single feature. So you have the sensors and how to reset, sensors basic, Tile, how to, again here, I don't know how to enable Tile. We talked about that just a little while ago. It walks you right through that. How to update your firmware, how to go ahead and do that, and how to do a headset recovery. So there is another app that is an app that you can use on your PC. That would be the Poly Lens feature. It was called the Plantronics Hub for the PC. As of today, it's called Poly Lens, and Poly Lens is another way to try to reset your device and also upgrade your device using your PC, and that could be a Mac or a Windows device. All right, so you've got many things here, and it'll walk you through. You know, maybe you're starting out and you want to know how to pair. Here's the instructions on how to pair the device on Android and so forth. In this case, it recognizes it on Android, so it's giving me exactly what the instructions are for pairing the device, and many more. So let's say you lose your headset. That happens. We misplace it. You can use a feature called Find My Headset. You click on it. Now it's going to give you a couple of options here on the type of notifications that's going to come through. So I'm going to just play it here. So you got loud and obnoxious, classic off hook, sonar ping. I'm going to go loud with obnoxious. I have no idea where the headset is. Maybe under a pillow somewhere. May have left it in the car. So I want it to be as loud as possible. So I'm going to say exposure to high sound levels may cause permanent damage. Make sure the device is not being worn. Obviously, you know that Plantronics is trying to cover themselves. So don't try to do this with the headset in your ear, because it's going to annoy you and may cause some issues. So I'm going to play it. All right, there we go. And it's sending out. You can adjust the loudness. And you can hear that. That's what that sounds like. Let's change that over to let's pause. Let's do classic off hook. See, it starts it low. I want it high. Okay, it's found that. And sonar ping. And remember, it's going to start low. And then I can tell it, yep, I found it, and it'll kill it. All right. So you have other ways you could rate the app. You can email the app. And that's been a walkthrough of the Plantronics mobile app called the Plantronics Hub. And hopefully that can help you get the best usage out of your Voyager 5200 UC. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe as we release new content every week. And while you're at it, we've got other helpful videos to help you on your journey. I'll see you on that next video.